Welcome to the new Talk with the Titan show. Where today we're gonna have a nice little free for all for everybody to come in and join us right now. Welcome to the smooth groove. We've gone past the 2 hour mark and we're now going into the chill down zone where you yourself can ask any question that you possibly want. Maybe I have sent everybody off on the edge. Can you come back with us right now? Let us go. Okay, I'm waffling, you know, but come on, Kings, what you saying, man? Let's get it, fam.
He's that brother that just came in
and ducked, like he was like, huh? I didn't know this.
No, he's still there.
I didn't know what this.
His name's called the teacher of teacher.
Yeah, Teach is here, man. This is my brother. He's from Sweden. Yeah. Somebody's asked about. Hold on. Then Julian. That's it. Julian has just come true again. Someone was asking.
Sorry. Sorry.
No problem. Someone's asking about flat Earth. I don't really want to go on to flat Earth. I don't know much about that. But I don't want to talk about it.
You know me and Cozy. I love it when you talk.
Yep. Just mute your YouTube or your TV, whatever's going on, and let's keep it going. Family. What's good?
All right.
Talk to us.
It seems though nobody ain't really saying nothing.
Yo,
already 2 hour mark. You know,
Angelo.
Right now.
I'm gonna mute the mic until you've muted your YouTube, and let's go. All right, Julian, how are you saying, King?
Hi, I'm all right. I'm just listening to the conversation, and it's really interesting. And I really agree with a lot of the things because coming from like an African culture as well, yeah, I can really about how can I say it, how people view the African science as bad, sometimes. And it was not so much in my family because from my family it's kind of normal, a lot of those things, but some Africans tend to demonize it, and they put like other religions that are not even from them before that, but where I'm coming from is more like culture than religion after. So I agree more with that, if you understand what I'm saying.
Definitely. Can I get where you're calling in from?
I'm calling in from Norway.
Excellent. I love that. And what is your, what country are you from originally?
Congo.
Excellent. All right. So we got, my brother here from the Congo. I don't know if you know about the back Congo, and if you could break any of that down, well, that would be a treat. But yeah, we've also got Angelo Suleiman, my Moorish Mason. How you doing, King?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, King.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, for me, I think every religion is basically just part of a certain culture. So, you can't really separate the two. Like people talk about like universal religions, but for me, I don't think there is such a thing as a universal religion. Like, so you take Islam, for example. It's like you've got an Arab prophet from Arabia. The Quran's written in Arabic. Most Muslims will tell you that you can't understand the Quran unless you read it in Arabic. So you got to learn Arabic. You got to learn the language of another people. And I just feel like, you got to be careful with that, man. Yeah, that's like imperialism to me. It's like cultural imperialism. It's like a lot of, like, you take your average black guy, for example, you convert to Islam. Like, he'll get rid of his own original name and then take on an Arabic name. And in his mind, he thinks he's taking on a Muslim name, but it's not a Muslim name, it's an Arabic name. It's about culture. You're learning Arabic and you're dressing like an Arab and you're doing all these different things, and you got to be careful with that, man. So for me, you just got to learn your own culture. Because if you don't learn your own culture, you're going to get lost out there, man. You got to be rooted in your own culture. In your own culture.
You get lost in that sauce. Can I get where you're calling in from?
I'm from London, man. I'm from London.
All right.
My parents are from Angola, and my tribe is Bakongo. Yeah, so we're in Angola, we're in Congo, we're in the other Congo as well. So we're in 3 different countries, really.
Yeah. Wow. So I want you to be breaking down that back Congo cosmology for me.
Yeah. I'm just learning about it now as well. Like, I'm just learning about our language spirituality. But yeah, it's a monotheistic spirituality, and for me, it's like I just want to learn about how like the different spiritualities all link up. Like I know we all venerate our ancestors. I know we all pour libation. We all do sacrifices and stuff like that. So that's what I'm just learning about right now as well. So and it's this group called Bundu dia Congo. They're like these it's like a cultural movement, and it's about, you know, they've got a website too if you guys want to check it out, and it's all about bringing back our culture, you know, our languages and all that stuff. They've got their own script as well. It's called Mandombe. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm trying to learn that too. So, you know, yeah, man. But you just got to learn your own culture. You got to have a foundation, man. You got to have a foundation.
Tough.
Yeah, man. So that's just what I got to say, man.
See, I love that, you know. See that? Or people don't realize, you know, we could unify via diversity, you know.
Yeah.
Unify via diversity, because I get to learn a lot of things from my brothers out there. Imagine if the whole world was just one religion. How boring would that be? The whole world was just one culture. How boring would that be? See, I'm a man that I love my food. I love my food. So you saying over in Angola, what's the dishes, man? What's the dishes?
We eat a lot. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So we eat fufu. Everyone eats fufu in Africa, so yeah, but everyone makes it differently though. But yeah, man, just stuff like that, fufu and, you know, oxtail stew, stuff like that. You know?
Some good soups as well, yeah. Some nice soups.
Yeah. But it depends on your mum though, man. Because I've been to certain houses and the cooking's a bit off.
Easy.
So you gotta make sure your mum knows how to cook. Like, there's certain aunties, yeah, you know, some aunties are better than others.
Certain aunties that you need to carry the Maggie cubes to their yards.
Exactly.
Yeah. Listen, that Maggie is imperative. It's imperative, you know. You know, your Scotch bonnet as well. That's another thing. Like, you have to have those things. Make sure you have your seasoning and your spices, man. Come on, family. All right. So what we said, man. Again, family members, like, we're just kicking it right now. So if you want to join the live stream, okay, I've posted the link down below. I'm going to post it again because all my brothers, they're in the chat and they just saw the link and they just said, yep, I'm coming through. So if you want to come through, come on in, man. If you're brave, man, you ain't got no fear, and you know, you want to talk with the family, come true, man. It's all love. As well, you're here, man. Come on, let me see the likes. Let me see the likes just raise a little bit. Oh, there we go. Let's do an extra like. Any more extra likes going? So now we got a troll. Is it a troll that's in here? Yeah, it's a troll that's in here. So guess what we do to trolls? We simply eject them. So that was an Arabic Muslim troll coming on with some next type of ISIS looking flag in the background as their anyways, let me not even go there. Like, see, this is the reason why I don't actually like posting the links inside of the live chat, because you never know who you've actually got watching. That's why I usually direct everybody to my Facebook to come in. But yeah, go through, King. Gabz, this is you, man. This is you.
Oh, sorry. Reply to the message. So what was it? What are we going to talk about now? I don't know. What did anybody have any questions? I don't know. What other questions do people have on their mind that they wanted to discuss? Anything that they wanted to discuss on today's topic?
I just wanted to know, like, because for me, I grew up Christian, basically, right? And I'm just not into it anymore. I'm out of that period. But obviously, a lot of my friends and family are like, they're deep into it. So for me, it's like, you know, what's the approach? You know, it's like, do we like, because you want to be careful, man. It's like, you don't want to alienate your family and your friends, because, you know, everyone's really defensive about religion. You know, so it's like, how do we go about, you know, bringing them to this truth? You know, it's like how, like Kalam, you was talking earlier about how in the movies in Nigeria, for example, they demonize our own culture and they uplift, you know, Western Christianity, and that's all to do with the colonial mentality that's been forced upon us. But it's like, how do you go about it, man? Like, 'cause it's hard. How do you give them this African truth? Because they've been so brainwashed. Like, it's like, man, how do you do it?
Do you know what?
Wow. Yeah.
Let's bounce off me and Gabs. What I personally do is, let's say for example, Christianity, I start on the level that a person's actually on, and I don't give them too much that they can actually bear at one time. So, I don't mind somebody practicing their own particular religion, but kind of see yourself in that religion and then slowly take yourself out of that religion if that's what you want to do as the next step. So, for example, me and my mom, okay, we have the most amount of talks, the best amount of talks in the whole entire world. Like, trust me, we'll be there for like 3 hours just in the kitchen. My little sister now comes in. She wants to get involved. Like, we're just talking, we're discussing scriptures. So we might just pull up a scripture, we might discuss it. We now might be talking about life after death. Those type of things that we just talk about any topic that we possibly can and kind of bring in the African twist to it. And then sooner or later, you see your grandmother, that one day, she used to do such and such now. She used to, Yemeya, yes, Yemeya. They used to go down now to the river with the rest of them. They all used to go dressed in whatever color gowns, and they used to, tie up red gowns, white gowns, head wraps. They used to put the offerings into the seas, etc., sing certain songs. So my mom used to tell me all these stories. Christian woman that she is, yeah. Don't get it twisted. She's Christian, African Christian, whatever it is. I don't even know. But she'll be telling me all these stories here, yeah, that she's going back into her roots. She's now finding herself in her ancestors and seeing what they used to do. So then we have that type of conversation there. So then, Mom, like if this person was such a good individual, like, why don't you dig into that? And then sooner or later, I'll see 2-3 weeks later, months later, she would now be pulling up some traditional musics, traditional chants. She'll be there, reciting the same chants that her grandmother used to be reciting to her when she was a child. So for me, it's just slowly but surely, like if you just introduce certain things with them, that a conversation that can lead, that can segue into the African tradition, sooner or later, that African tradition will just, or those ancestors will now see that you're walking towards them and just go, what? Just grab you and now start pulling you and pulling you and pulling you and pulling you and pulling you closer to the African tradition. So for me, it's start on the level that they're on, introduce a little bit of Africanness or a little bit of culture into them, and they'll start biting. They'll start biting, and the ancestors inside of them will start working with them to bring that out. That's the way I've worked with my parents anyway.
That sounds good, man. Thanks, brother.
Can I just add something to this Christian conversation?
Yeah.
About because when I studied the Bible, what I found out is that a lot of religions have fragments of African traditionalism. So, like when we talk about like nature spirits, like the Orishas or whatever, like it's written in the scripture, like Revelation 14:18, like, and another angel came out from the altar which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, trust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the wine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And like in Revelation 16:8, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to score men with fire. So that was like an example of, there's nature spirits or angels that have control over the elements, and those angels are called the mighty ones. And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun. So that was like, hello.
Right, I'll throw in my 2 pence worth. For me, you're dealing with shades of gray, and I find that it's very difficult to get somebody to change certain things that they hold onto, especially if they were brought up in it. So my personal standpoint is I'm not there to change anyone. I'm just there to express my version of what I believe to be true. And it's then up to them to take from that what they will and do with it what they will. Because it's very, very difficult to change someone's internal biases, especially if that's all they've known since they were born.
Yeah, you're right, brother. That's the best way. That's kind of the way that I do as well. I kind of just, lead by example. Like when you do on a full pitch, you got the. I don't know if you guys watch basketball. You have the stars like LeBron James, Steph Curry. Let's lead by example. So you do what you have to do. You work to the best of your ability, and sure enough, people will see it and then want to follow suit. You see what I'm saying? It's just like a thing. It's like energy will draw you to that. You want to be like them. The same way anybody wants to be like their role models or their stars. It's the same thing. So you just got to be grounded and knowing yourself. Yeah. And if you're emanating that right energy, people are going to draw to that. That's happened a few times with me. People just drew off the energy. Energy attracts positive energy. That's how it goes. You know what I mean? Negative energy attracts negative energy. That's how it goes. So as long as you're emanating and showing off the positive energy, you know what I mean, you're going to attract people to you. So those people who are in your family or your friends that are in these religious systems or atheists or nothing, sooner or later they will come. If your energy's right, they'll get attracted to you. You see what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
I hear that.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
I was still.
Yeah, because I was going to mention something else, which is when we talk about foreign religions, especially with the Abrahamic faiths, there's something that we actually tend to forget, which is, like I was saying before, we have shades of gray. So you'll find that the way the foreign religions are practiced in country varies. So some people mix it in with traditional, some people don't. And I've lost count of how many times you'll see somebody go to church on a Sunday. After church, they're going to see native doctor for whatever reason.
Exactly.
That is ridiculously common. I say, yeah, but I thought you said this stuff is all devilish. So, yeah. I know, but there's always a but.
Yeah. You're right on that, man. It's true. There's so many people that I've seen do that. They'll come out of church asking for prayer and healing and say they got that, but as soon as they step out, they're asking for a number for a healer to give them some herbs and some stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just a bit contradictory. You know what I mean?
It's because I think it goes back to what W. Du Bois calls the double consciousness. Because we're still African. The colonialism never got rid of the fact that we're still African. That's deep within us. But then there's this other colonial identity that's been forced upon us. So there's a struggle between the two, and we just end up losing because you're not fully African on the one hand. But even though you've got this European identity forced upon you, you're still not European. So you're kind of stuck in the middle. And in Angola as well, because we were colonized by the Portuguese. And the Portuguese were a bit more I don't know, cunning, I'd say, than the British, or I'd say French, because what the Portuguese realized was, if you really want to keep control over an African country, over your African colonies, is one of the best ways to do it is through intermarriage. Number one, and they had this policy called assimilado in Portuguese, which in English means assimilation. So whereas you had maybe segregation and separation in Britain, what they did in Angola was basically force the Africans to assimilate into Portuguese culture. And one of the easiest ways to do that was through marrying into the African population. This is why whenever you look at any former Portuguese colony in the world today, whether it's Brazil, Angola, Cape Verde, they all have huge mixed race populations. They all have these huge biracial.
Why though?
Because that was the part of the policy. If you intermarriage into the populations, and it's much harder for you guys to separate and for the Africans to get their independence. So you marry into the population to cement that link between the colonizer and the colonized.
Yeah.
So, and even today, I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of people in London, for example, if you know this, like a lot of Angolans, for example, if you ask them what country you're from, they'll tell you they're Portuguese. I don't know if you guys know this.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That goes back to the colonial mentality. You understand what the Portuguese were doing through their policy of assimilado. Get these Africans to deny their own culture, take on our culture, so that in their minds they'll be like us, they'll think like us. And so it's like, even today, if you go to Angola today, it's one of the most westernized countries in Africa in terms of the culture. Your average Angolan's got a Portuguese name. Most Angolans don't have African names; they have Portuguese names. Most Angolans only speak Portuguese. They don't speak a tribal language, unlike my family. And we're a bit different because the tribe I come from, we're quite tribalistic. So we've kept back our culture. But your average Angolan only speaks Portuguese. They have a Portuguese, and they have Portuguese names, and it's like 80% Roman Catholic. So when I went to Angola, you'll go to a Roman Catholic church, and it'll be packed out, like 1,000 people in there, and there'll be a huge statue of a white Jesus at the front. And before they wouldn't even walk past it without kneeling down and doing the sign of the cross. So it's so westernized. Like the Portuguese, their level of colonialism is next level stuff. So that's why in our case it's even harder for me, I guess, to talk to other Angolans, because you bring this up and they call you a racist and they say all this stuff, but they don't understand that culture overlaps with race, and every you can't be a strong nation trying to be a false imitation of someone else. You've got to stand in your own culture, like the Chinese do, like the Indians do, like the Europeans do. Everyone stands in their own culture except us.
Yeah, I mean, what I'll say is, what we're dealing with is shame.
Yeah,
that's really what it is, because we in general are ashamed, and because we're ashamed, you look for the next best thing. I don't want to be this because this is seen as bad, it's weak, it's this, it's that. So what's the next best thing? And the next best thing is whichever colonial power you were under, that's the next best thing. That's what you tend to idolize. I mean, so if you look at South America, Brazil, perfect example.
Yeah.
Mexico, you get these guys call themselves Hispanic, and you say, what is a Hispanic? There's no such a race as a Hispanic. Your mixed heritage, mulatto, whatever name anybody wants to come up with, but basically your blood's mixed, miscegenation. So they'll come up with these titles to distance themselves from what they feel is poor, uneducated, underdeveloped, and even the language we use. So for example, you go to Africa, what do you have? Tribes.
Yeah.
But in Europe, you have clans. In Africa, you have jungle. In Europe, you have forests. And it goes on and on and on and on. So you'll find that people, depending on how bad the colonization was, there's a certain degree of, call it self-hate. Because even if you go to like the places like China and Japan, they idolize white people. In those places. I mean, I watch a lot of Japanese entertainment, and in Japan, if you want to show that you're really sophisticated and wealthy, you go to European restaurants. You have European style houses. You have European style furnitures. If possible, you try to get a European style education. I mean, they're heavily affiliated with America, so some of these things get to be like, you go to America and so on, and they idolize all the American sports. The list goes on. So we're not isolated in this, but we are at the very bottom in the sense of we have the biggest negative effect of it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hold on, quickly. I'm just gonna say something, brothers. Listen, I'm just gonna sign out quickly. I got to shoot off and help my missus. But I want to say peace to the brothers that's on the panel and that. Peace to brother Kalam. Peace to everybody that was tuning in. Yeah, and I'll speak to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brothers as well. While you're out there, always, if you see any of the youth out there, you know what I mean, stop them and drop them a bit of knowledge. You know what I mean? Tell them to promote the channel,
Well, that's the key.
read a book. you know what I mean? Get that into their mindset. You know what I mean? So peace and love to you, brothers. Yeah.
All right, then.
Peace, King. Peace, peace.
Peace.
Let me just shout out quickly, brother Amun. You there, King?
Hello, mate. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, King. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, that's love, man. That's love. I saw
I
what you
know.
did for us, family. That's love,
Nah,
man.
don't worry, man. Well, look, it's good things. What you're doing is quite excellent, actually. What you have to know is that most, well, African, actually, we've been suffering for years and years. I know the brother was talking about colonizing, about everything. But what you have to understand is that it goes economy. You see the way they come. All right, I'm Ethiopian originally.
Mm.
You see the fallacious where they say the Jew. We haven't got bloodline any Jew at all. The Judaism actually arrived from Britain 1850. You know the history, if you know. They arrived there. This is what they do. They will try and force their beliefs. All right, they are convert. As they convert, now what they look around is they look around in the field to get their gold or any goods. That's how they get into Africa, well, especially in Ethiopia. So it's for us actually to correct, and I think you're doing excellent work, and I think it will open a lot eyes, a lot of knowledge. That's all we need. And the more we go like this, boy, we teach our children, and we can go forward. But still, we haven't come out from it. If they can call you at the third word, you see the whole Congo, it can feed the whole Africa.
Yeah.
And they got a cheek to call us, you are the third word. What is that they're telling you? They're telling you, boy, you're negative. And if you look at the dictionary, under black, everything's, you know, everything's bad. Under white, everything is good. Yeah?
Yeah.
We have to come out from this belief system. I think the Christianity history we know it done bad to us. The Muslim thing, I should know the East Coast slavery and all that still happening now as we speak. So, you know, what I can say to know by ourselves, it's the best thing we could do. And I think other religions, to me, in my opinion, they're not for us at all. So, you know, you're doing a good job, man. That's all I got to say.
Appreciate that, family. That's love. That's love right there. I love you. Let me just give a shout out to Bald with I don't know what's the other. Finish that off, King.
Yeah, no, finish. I'm done.
Yeah, no, my other brother. Bald with
Yes, bruv. So that's Ball of the Beard. But I shaved off the beard, so I've got to change my name now.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
Just want to say love to the family, though, man. Loving everything that you're doing on the show. And yeah, man, I just wanted to pose a question, basically. So I know most people, like, you know, come with a Christian background and stuff. I myself raised in a Christian home and stuff like that. But then, like, you know, coming to some truth about the Hebrew Israelites. So I just wanted to know what people think about the Hebrew Israelites in comparison to like Christians, because you know, Jesus, we know about the letter J, didn't come into like the 16th century. So his name wasn't even that. Israelites claim that his name was something else completely. Even the father's name that was omitted from the texts. And yeah, it's like there's a whole bunch of laws and stuff that I think has been sort of changed in the church and all that stuff there to make us think a certain way, act a certain way, look at things a certain way. Whereas I don't know, when like looking back into the Torah, things are just different. Like I see a nation built, like a proper nation built there, compared to what's like going on today with our people. And I know like a whole bunch of people are still in that as well, like not just being, not like, you know, not like you know how people speak so badly about African cultures and stuff like that. A whole bunch of people are still into the whole Christian thing and looking down at African cultures and stuff like that. But when it comes to the Israelite culture, it's like something else. So I just wanted to know what people think about that.
Definitely. Can I quickly ask, where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm in London, man.
London, okay. And heritage?
Heritage, Nigerian.
Excellent. All right. Wait, which part of Nigeria?
So here's the thing. So my father from Badagry, which is a part of Lagos, but looking into that, um, they were originally part of the Benin country, but war broke out. We got kicked out of there, and then we ended up in Badagry, which was a part of Yorubaland at the time before the whole colonization. However, that turned out to be one of the slave forts, which it's crazy.
All right. See, here history there. History and heritage. Rich. I'm gonna give my answer. I'm gonna let this be like the last question or commentary that's given, because I've literally got my sister around today and she's sleeping on the bed. I haven't given her no time for the whole day. So after she's
No
looking
problem,
at me
man.
there like, come on. So it's gonna be the last one. But yeah, for me, I'm quite liberal. I'm very much so liberal. I have to put my hands up and admit it before anybody shouts me down. And I personally welcome my Hebrew brothers, like Kwame Asharala, all day long. Like, I welcome them. I applaud what they're doing. Applaud the fact that they're actually using tools that's actually present for them, and they're actually finding themselves within inside of the text that they're using, and they're going against the grain to bring forward their rendition of African spirituality and culture in the aspect of Hebrew Israelite information, or Hebrew Israelitism. I don't even know how you would coin that, so to speak. So I actually applaud that. For me, as long as you're seeing yourself, that's fine with me. As long as you're seeing yourself and you're not giving over your energy and your worship and your praise and whatever it is to another people, another culture, and another identity, I'm up for that 100% of the time. But again, I'm liberal. I'm very much so liberal. So, like, excuse me. So I'm going to pass that on to the rest of the panel and see what they have to say as well.
Can I say something? Yeah, I really like the Hebrew doctrine because a lot of them, they step into power. And I believe that as a people, that we have to step into our power. And the way we can step into our power is start to respect ourselves, respect our ancestors, respect where we came from. And the Hebrews does that very well when they follow the Tanakh, they follow the Torah, Israelite ancestry. So that I really respect. And instead of you seeing black people bleach their skin or doing things that they are not supposed to do, that is not a part of their culture or who they really are, you're seeing them actually trying to build a strong community for their people, and that's real. So definitely I rock with the Hebrews, of course.
Yeah, can I say something?
Cool.
Go Tricky.
I'll say two things on the Hebrews. Firstly, I don't mind syncretism, that is like mixing Christianity and like or Islam with sort of African spirituality, or giving a sort of like black consciousness sort of a character to Hebrew religion or spiritual path. But for me, the ultimate goal has to be to come back to our culture 100%. So if you're on your way from like the Bible, if you start with the Bible, you start with the Quran, then if you're on your way to coming back home to your own African spirituality, then that's kind of halfway. But for me, ultimately, we got to get back to our own culture. And two, I don't know. I mean, I think some Hebrews, they get on that that anti-African tip, and that for me is just like, that's white supremacy for me, man. You can't be dividing black people against each other. So you're evil for all black people. You're not, bro. Like, if you're the moment you start turning us against each other, I mean, I can't get with that, man. But there are some Hebrews who are Pan-Africanist, like the ones that follow Ben Ami in Israel. They're in Israel today, and they call themselves Africans. So it depends on that. That to me is crucial. Like, are you pro-Africa or you're not? And if you're anti-Africa, then you might as well be, you might as well just not be black. Basically, you can't be turning us against each other. Yeah.
You might as well be part of KKK. I heard you say.
I was going to say that.
I can hear you thinking. I can hear you thinking. And trust me, you just try to hold your gums now. See, I want to say it.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Elder.
Just quickly. So the Hebrew, they're blacks, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the Hebrew, they're black, yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
And probably believe in the Torah.
yeah.
And the people got
Yeah.
the power on the Torah, the white Jew, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Right now,
correct?
yeah.
All right.
Right now,
So not right now, from time. So those people actually, from long time ago, they was holding the Torah, and they was financing the slave trade. I don't know if you know, but it's facts. I can give you all the links. And these brothers here, they following that tradition. I think that's a bit something to worry about. It's good what they're doing for the people for to live in this little life here, but take it to Africa, I think that to me a little bit insulting. That's being honest.
No, I hear that. But from my from my understanding, at least, so you know, the peeps, the Israelis, they weren't always like, you know, in control of the Torah. At the time of the slave trade, yeah, they were. However, you had people in Africa who were following Torah before the slave trade came through. There were people, the Israelites, that came through into into West Africa before the slave trade, time ago. And
where did they go? The Hebrew?
yeah, they ended up in West Africa. A bunch of them ended up in West Africa. A bunch of them stayed.
Okay, cool. If you say East Africa, which is Ethiopia, there wasn't such any Hebrews in there. And if you said West Africa, you mean talking about Nigeria, the history doesn't tell me that.
Can I just add something?
All right, real quickly, Kings, real quickly. What I'm gonna do, okay, because I desperately have to go. All right.
Yeah, no worries.
What I'm gonna do is we're gonna leave the panel open. The panel's gonna be open. I'm gonna just simply go off air. That's what I'm gonna do. Is go off air, and you guys can carry on with the conversation and get it in. It's gonna get real interesting. And if anybody else would like to join in with the brothers, let me just drop the link over here. So you guys can literally come in. Once we're off here, we're literally going off here in the next 10 seconds. So come in, join the brothers, join in with the conversation, because it's going to get real juicy, real nice, real fast, 0 to 100. But unfortunately, there can only be about 10 members can join us in total. So if you want to join us, literally click the button as soon as possible to join us, because we're going off air. So I would really love to thank my brother Gabz for coming on and just giving us his journey and breaking down you know, the black use and understanding knowledge of self and giving us some powerful information, full stop. I respect my brother. I love my brother. I appreciate my brother. He really did his thing. And we, you know, I'm going to maybe break this up into 2-part show. So the second show, we had, you know, brothers from all around the world, from all different parts of the continent, Angola, Congo, Ethiopia, you know, everybody, Nigeria, everybody's just here representing. I love that. I love the diversity within inside of us, and we're all uniting. You know, we're all uniting together, and that is so powerful. So yeah, thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys who actually donated. Thank you guys for actually subscribing. Thank you guys for liking and sharing this great platform. So I'm signing out right now. Peace to my queen, man, African goddess. Salute to you. I see you just joined us, so salute to you. I may not be here to actually talk anymore, but yeah, peace.
Peace.